we're going to bring up your next speaker. That's going to be the wonderful, magnificent Chris James.
If you talk about how much you hate your fat, your body has been working all this time to keep you alive.
I don't think anybody in my circle understands it.
What's going on, everybody? Yo, they do not want me to talk about this topic. They do not want me to talk about this topic because I just had the hardest time I've ever dealt with getting this live stream going. It could just be my own bad habits. I got the internet connected directly. Give me a shout, y'all. Let me know that you can hear me, you can see me before we get started. And I don't know why this is saying wrong. Let's see. Can you all hear me? It's so weird because I got my Ethernet cable plugged in, but it's also saying that my signal is weak. Okay, you can hear me, you can see me, everything's good. Something got caught in my throat. Some herbs or spices or something. Okay, I'm going to keep my eye on the chat. You know what I'm saying? Let me know if anything goes weird with the audio and video. Good day, everyone. Sunday. Now I'm live streaming on Facebook and YouTube because I did not prepare a Sunday video. I had a topic that I wanted to talk about, and I know you guys have been checking out the title of the video. We're going to get into that. Okay. Shout out to Jane from Scotland. What is going on? First of all, I wanted to let you guys know some of the things that are going on. So we just did Stephen and I, we did an event. Stephen and I and Shell, we did an event in Plano, Texas. And we were vendors out there, but we also got on stage. Shout out to Mike Webb, who invited us to participate in this musical event. And he just wanted to share AHA, the AHA brand. So thank you for that. Make sure to hit the like button. I also want to encourage you guys, for those who don't know, we just created our free membership site. It's essentially an alternative to Facebook. So you guys, if you're interested in being able to communicate with us, the coaching staff and the other members in the community without restrictions, without censorship, we've got our own membership site now. And it's super simple. You just go to ahacommunities.com. All right. ahacommunities.com. So I just wanted to get that out there because I know a lot of people don't know about it yet. It's brand new. Without further ado, I know you all saw the title, and I know you're questioning, Chris, what are you talking about? What do you mean they're coming out with a vaccine burger? All right. So a little while ago, you guys might have seen that I had a guest on the show by the name of Kepra Anu. I follow him on Instagram now, but he's a raw vegan chef or a raw chef. He's very connected to, just natural healing and natural foods and using food for medicine and things of that nature. I definitely recommend you go check out the interview that I did with Chef Kepra if you haven't seen it already. But he posted something on his Instagram recently, and I said, bro, I gotta talk about this because this is crazy. All right. Now, obviously, we've had a bit of a back and forth in the community and just the broad community, which is the United States and the rest of the world, about vaccines. Are they safe? Should you take them? There's a lot of people who are unsure about the science behind them. There's a lot of people skeptical. There's a lot of people that got them. So today I'm going to be talking to those who may have decided that they did not want to get the vaccine, right? They decided, I don't want to get it for whatever reason. You guys need to be aware of another way that they're going to be administering a vaccination to you, not necessarily in a format that you would see normally. All right, so I'm going to pull up this this little article that Chef Kepper put together. Okay, so hopefully you all can see this. Let me see here. Let me know if you guys can see it, because I've never used this feature. So I'm gonna give you all a second. Just let me know that you can see it. And if I need to make any adjustments, let me know. Give me a heart, a like, give me something. Let me know y'all can see it. Yes? Okay. All right, cool. Good deal. Thank you, everybody. All right, so the post says McVaccine Burger, mRNA vaccination of animals is expected to begin at the end of the year. All around the world, countries will be launching a campaign to vaccinate billions of pigs, cows, goats, sheep over the period of 9 months. This massive task is an effort to enhance the biosecurity by improving animal immunity and eradicating epidemic diseases. Okay, so here's what they're basically saying. They're basically saying that they're going to give the animals these vaccines in order to enhance our biosecurity. Essentially, they're going to force feed us vaccinations. Now, this is not anything new. I think that the campaign that we're talking about here is, maybe on a larger scale, but obviously they've been doing a lot of this already. So when I very first started learning about, inorganic creatures, because people don't know that there's inorganic creatures out there. You have to understand, when you look at an animal that's sterile, that is an inorganic creature. That means it's not of nature, it's not of God or the universe, or whatever your belief system. That creature is not natural. Man has the ability and has been manipulating creatures, plants, bugs, diseases for longer than you could possibly conceptualize, because we think of modern science as being the pinnacle of science. And if you think that, you think all this stuff is new. It's not. They've been doing it for millenniums. So basically what they're going to be doing is force feeding you all the vaccinated material, the material that's in the vaccine, through the animals. Because what you don't realize is, or what a lot of people don't realize is, when you get vaccinated, whether you're a human or an animal, a lot of the toxic material in that vaccination never leaves your body, right? Because the body is overtasked with trying to eliminate this stuff that should never be in your system, in the bloodstream in the first place. Essentially, what ends up happening is it gets stored in different places in the body. And they've done many tests on this. They have a ton of research on this. They know what chemicals, what products go to what part of the body. So they could essentially manipulate it where, they have certain particulates or contamination go to the part of the animal that we traditionally eat. Now, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to matter, because if you eat a hot dog, you're eating all the animal anyway. Right? But even in the prime cuts and the different areas where you're thinking, oh, these are prime cuts, these are the best part, whatever, they can engineer this stuff to be sent directly to those areas so that you will then eat it and you'll ingest it. So the body of the animal's body can't get rid of it. You then ingest it, right? You start breaking that stuff down. Your liver is already low functioning. Your digestive system is already low functioning. Your microbiome is already lacking. So now you ingest this stuff. You don't have the proper tools to eliminate or get this stuff out of your system. And then it becomes imparted into your bloodstream. And so now it becomes a part of you. And this isn't going to, I don't want to make it seem like this is the same as getting an injection in your bloodstream. It's not the exact same, but it's detrimental enough to raise concern, right? So in this little article or whatever that Chef Kepper put together, at the end he says, hey, we have to pay attention to the source of our meat. It's important now for those who are eating meat. It's important for you guys to source local organic farmers, right? Which is what I've been saying for a long time. A lot of people. Let me know if we're still frozen. I think I know what the problem is. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Okay, we're back. Okay. A lot of people, a lot of times I'll tell people, look, if you eat meat, that's fine. A lot of people think I'm vegan. I'm against eating meat. I don't eat meat. I wouldn't consider myself a vegan. I don't eat meat. But the reason why I don't eat meat is because I learned about stuff like this. Okay. So it's important to understand that it goes much deeper than what you think, right? A lot of people think, okay, like we teach fasting, right? So we're teaching fasting, we're teaching dietary strategy. If you do those things, you're going to be okay. And for the most part, if you do those things, you'll be better than you were not doing it. It depends. It's levels. Like, what level of health and wellness do you want? Where do you really want to go with this? So that's going to determine how hard you go, if you will. But if you guys are going to be eating meat, then you want to be sourcing high quality meat, because now what we're seeing is an active campaign to vaccinate animals with this biohacking material, essentially, that really isn't doing anything for the animal. It's not doing anything for the animal. It's designed, right? This what we're talking about today is something that is being given to the animals for your consumption. And of course, if you guys don't have your ear to the ground, you're not going to know this. You're not going to, not in America. Maybe in other countries you might know, you might be made aware of it. But in America, we're so busy worried about the game. You know what I'm saying? Is my team winning? What's Kanye doing this week? Blah, 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 blah. We're not paying attention to this type of stuff, which is why I guess it's important to be locked into a community like this, right? Because at the end of the day, our goal is to teach you these things and make you aware of these things so that you all can make these decisions for yourself. Let's see, somebody, I'm going to ask for a link for something. Let me see real quick. Just wanted to make sure I didn't miss. Oh, okay. A link for this post is from Dr. Kepra. Okay, dr.kepra on Instagram. So this is someone that I interviewed maybe last year. It might have been a year and a half ago. And I follow him on Instagram, and he posted this article. I don't know the source of this article, where he got the source. I don't think he had it on there. But this is not anything new, particularly. Like, they've been giving animals vaccines. They've been giving animals vaccines for their own quote unquote health and wellness, right? Right now, we're talking about giving the animals vaccines so that when we consume these animals, we are imparted with certain chemicals and things from their flesh. So that's kind of the part that I would say is new, but still not really new. Okay. I did a video quite a while ago when the Impossible Burger first came out. So when the Impossible Burger first came out, I was very suspicious about it because Bill Gates it has like a large amount of ownership in it, or had some involvement in the Impossible Burger. So once I knew that Bill Gates had something to do with the Impossible Burger, I knew that we needed to pay attention. Something shady was going on with the Impossible Burger. And I might have found out after I actually tried the Impossible Burger for the first time. So I did a video reacting to the Impossible Burger. I got it from, I think Burger King. It was like the Impossible Whopper. You know, a lot of people are like, Chris, why would you do that? Why would you eat it? Because I keep it real. That's why. I'm not perfect. I like to experiment with my body. I like to test things. I know that a lot of people in the community are going to be eating it. So I want to know what's going on with this thing. And my first reaction to it was it made me sick. I got dizziness, and I think I got a headache. And I knew instantly. I was like, okay, this stuff, something's wrong with this stuff. You know, what a lot of people don't realize when it comes to these alternative meats is they're actually oftentimes they're more toxic than the real thing. So what you guys will hear me tell you is, hey, if you feel like you need meat, or you want to go plant-based and you still want meat, I will even tell you, like, look, it's probably better for you to just eat healthy organic meat than the fake meat, because oftentimes the fake meat is worse, and it's because it's frankenfood. You know, how do you take a muck bean and make it taste like animal flesh? It's in order to get it to taste and cook like animal flesh, there's a lot of manipulation that has to happen. And yes, you're not harming an animal in the producing of this food or whatever, but the food itself is still frankenfood. And one of the main tenets that we teach against is no processed foods, right? So you'll always hear me say, these are the things when I teach about dietary strategy, I say stay away from meats, dairy products, processed foods, and refined sugars, right? So what are processed foods? These are your fake meats and things of that nature. So right now what they're doing is it seems like they're hitting us from all angles. Whether you eat meat, whether you eat plant-based meat or whatever, if you're dealing with a processed food or a food that's not very well sourced, then there's going to be chemicals imparted to your body that you do not want there. And what's the major problem with processed foods? It's that your body doesn't digest them well. It really hinders your body's ability to digest, and that also will promote sickness in your body because if your body's not eliminating well, right? Digesting is breaking it down, and then you're going to eliminate it. If it's not eliminating well, even if it's a good food, right? Even if it's a natural food, if you're not eliminating well, it can cause a problem. But imagine if it's a synthetic food or something that's been genetically engineered to give you a certain feeling or mindset or whatever. Now it's it's even a bigger problem. So these are things that we have to be cognizant of. We have to keep our finger on the pulse, if you will, because there's a lot of things that are being done to us, presented to us. They're painting it as healthy. You know, one of the reasons why I don't refer to myself as a vegan was because, number one, I'm not. Technically, I'm not. But also, it's a dangerous thing. It's a dangerous rhetoric now because veganism doesn't represent truly what veganism used to represent, right? Like veganism used to represent, yes, we are for animals. We love animals, and we think that the cruelty to animals is a major problem, right? But also it would represent a plant-based lifestyle. So those two things were kind of synonymous. So you could say, oh, I'm a vegan, I care about the animals, but also I eat plant-based. Now, veganism, the health of the animals is kind of like separate from what we look at as veganism nowadays. And now it's just really about not eating animal products. And that's where it really started to become dangerous because there's always been products that we would consume that were bad for us that weren't animal products. That's always been the case in modern society, Now, don't quote me on this because this could definitely be wrong because these artificial flavors and things be coming from animals. But like you could probably choose a soda or something that has minimal to no animal products in it. Probably the artificial flavoring or whatever has an animal product. But You just imagine like a soda. Sodas are extremely bad for you, but maybe they're vegan. Maybe some of them are vegan, right? Some sodas are probably vegan, but they're extremely bad for you, but they're vegan. So it's like, well, I'm a vegan, I can drink this soda. Oreos, we know Oreos are vegan. They made a big deal about it. Oreos are vegan, but they're extremely processed. At no point in time were Oreos ever good for us. So we know we don't need to eat them, but they're vegan. And so what's happening is people are moving from, a standard American diet to a veganism diet. And they're saying, oh, well, Oreos and soda, those are vegan, so they must be healthy. And it's due to a lack of knowledge. It's due to a lack of understanding. And it's also due to the fact that people don't know that there are forces that are working against them, that know that veganism is a popular thing now. And so people are moving towards that. And you can call something vegan and you'll get a lot of people that are interested. Right. So we just have to be extremely careful. We got to be extremely careful with what we are eating. If you guys are going to continue to eat meat, do a little research. Find a local organic farmer. I don't know how prevalent they are. You know what I mean? But I know that where there's a will, there's a way. Also, if there's a demand for something, even though the supply might not be readily available, if we have a consistent demand for a higher quality product and we hold the farmers accountable, they will start manufacturing that product based on that demand. It's just the fact that we're okay going to McDonald's and getting a burger. Like honestly, y'all, I have nothing against. I'm not the type that judges people. I used to eat at McDonald's. But ever since I started learning a little bit about health and wellness, I stopped eating McDonald's. I mean, before I created AHA, before I started changing my diet, one of the first things I did, I got rid of pork. That was probably the first thing I did. And then the second thing I did was I stopped eating McDonald's. This was me with the most basic information. So knowing how basic of a knowledge base you have to understand that you should not eat at McDonald's, at this point, I do be like, dang, people still eat at McDonald's. Because I was like, man, over the next 10 years, there's going to be a wave of people leaving McDonald's, and they're going to lose a lot of customers, and they're going to go out of business. I really thought that was a potential to happen. But McDonald's is a very, very intelligent machine. And I noticed what they started doing is they started pivoting towards lighter meals and healthier options and lower calories and all these buzzwords and stuff. And I said, they pivoted, right? Now McDonald's has their chicken nuggets are made with real meat and stuff, right? All this stuff that they changed in order to keep their customer base, because people were leaving away from those toxic foods. They were realizing, you had that movie Super Size Me that came out so many years ago, and it exposed McDonald's and how unhealthy the food is. And there was a chain reaction that was started. And I'm like, man, I can't believe people still eat McDonald's, but it's like the cheapest thing you could buy. And it turns out that people will eat food that's cheap and affordable because of the climate we're in. They will not prioritize their health over just being able to put something cheap in their mouth. And so there's a lot of people that still eat at McDonald's. So the reason I bring that up is because you can't control what meat source McDonald's uses to make their hamburgers or their chicken or their pork links. You don't know. They're going to use the cheapest source, I could tell you. They're going to use the cheapest source. They're going to cut corners anytime they have a chance. They're going to enhance the flavor of the food with chemicals and artificial flavors so that you don't know the difference. And you're thinking you're getting a good product because it tastes good, but it's actually slowly killing you, right? So, this is just something that I felt like you guys needed to know. And I wanted to bring to the forefront of the conversation. Someone said they've stopped the salads too. So I don't know if they stopped making salads is what you're saying. I don't know. I'm just seeing it here. But I'll say that I personally, when I stopped eating McDonald's, I was like, I wouldn't even eat a salad from McDonald's. Because you got to realize there's a reason why they're able to manufacture food at the price point that they do and give you that quote unquote value. Because there's an agenda that's feeding a machine that's much greater than McDonald's. If McDonald's can produce more sick people, right? Like when you think about collaborations between industries or businesses or even individuals, there may be a person that may not necessarily be in the health and wellness space, right? They might not be in the health and wellness space, but I could collaborate with them because maybe they're in the event space, right? So maybe they host events or they promote events. So even though they might promote an event where people go and party at the club and drink and whatever, they could also promote a health and wellness event. And so I might collaborate with somebody who's not necessarily in my space, but we have mutual interests. McDonald's could collaborate with the pharmaceutical company because they have mutual interests. Would it not make sense for the pharmaceutical company to be like, hey, McDonald's, what if you did XYZ to your food? Not a lot, just a little XYZ. Just do a little something to your food. Put a little extra special ingredient in the food. And it just so happens that special ingredient makes people just a little bit sicker. And over time, people consume this ingredient. They consume it. And over time, they're slowly poisoning themselves. So maybe over the span of 10 years, 15 years, now they start having issues because of this little ingredient that McDonald's adds to their food. And if you eat it one time or if you eat it every once in a while, you'll never notice. It's not a big deal. But for those who consume it on a regular basis, or for those who consume fast food in general on a regular basis, and there's little ingredients in there, maybe it's MSG, you know what I mean? Now, all of a sudden, you start developing diabetes. You start developing cancer. You start growing tumors. You start having issues breathing or sleeping or erectile dysfunction or infertility or whatever the case is. And now that's good business for the pharmaceutical company. You see how that works? It doesn't take much, right? And I know what I'm saying might sound like conspiracy, but that's because it is. And that stuff really does happen in real life. And those who don't believe that it happens, either you're digging your head in the sand or you have just never done any research or you just don't care to do it. Or maybe you just want to believe, some people want to believe mainstream narratives. But, at the end of the day, believing mainstream narratives is why you guys are probably here in the first place. I wouldn't even exist if we didn't believe mainstream narratives, right? When you look at the food pyramid that was created by the agricultural sector of the government, which doesn't even make sense. It's like, why did you all create this food pyramid? You put it on the back of milk containers, cereal boxes. They taught it to us in school. I remember walking in the hallway of my school and there was a food pyramid on the wall, like a poster, right? This is propaganda. And now, thanks to the propaganda that they put out back in the early 90s, late 80s or whatever, you have a generation of people who are really, really sick. Why? They promoted a ton of wheat, cereal, bread, blah, 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 right? Well, guess what they did? They genetically engineered the wheat to resist bugs, cold, sun, a tornado. Like literally, this wheat is impervious to everything, right? And so now you have a crop that's impervious to everything. It grows fast, it grows higher, you get more yield, great, huge profits. And then you have the government pushing this food pyramid for everybody to eat. So we're consuming a ton of this wheat, and it's making us fat, it's making us bloated, it's making us sick. So now the pharmaceutical company has all these new diseases that they can heal or quote unquote treat. It makes sense. It's a great business plan, not so good for us as consumers, So I think it's important for y'all to understand this stuff. There's ways around it, right? We're solution oriented. Find a local organic farmer. Care about things. Stop eating fast food. Like when you eat fast food, you have limited to no control over what you're consuming. You just simply don't know. I still have fast food from time to time. So I'm not telling you guys you got to be perfect. You know what I mean? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying be cognizant. If you eat out, 4 or 5 times a week, cut it back to twice a week, or do it on special occasions, or take or take periods of intentional time away from those foods. Give your body a rest, right? Because, my goal is to teach you all how to promote your natural immune system. So you don't have to worry, okay, you eat something that's bad. Okay, cool. We drink a little wine. We have a little smoke or something. We're going to do things that aren't good for us. Even the air we breathe is toxic. So the focus is really on building your body's natural immune system and resistance to a toxic environment, including consumption, what you're eating. That's really the goal. But then also if you couple that with hydration, drinking water and understanding water, and then staying away from, obviously toxic stuff, not just stuffing your face and giving it to your children all the time, then it'll create balance and your body will be able to maintain a certain level of health based on, what you choose to do, right? So this isn't an all or nothing thing. This isn't a doomsday thing. My goal here is just to make sure that you all understand what's happening so that you can start caring more and being more intentional about what you put in your body. When I started transitioning away from, eating toxic foods and eating just any kind of meat and stuff, the first thing I did was I found a local organic farmer. And, it's usually pretty easy. They'll have all these different cuts of meat, chicken, whatever. They'll freeze it so you can put it in your deep freezer. And I just stopped eating out. I stopped going out to eat. And when I went out to eat, I would eat salads. I would have soup. You know what I'm saying? I would have light options. I would have the option that has the least amount of manipulation in it. You know what I mean? And that was fine. And then as that meat started to run out, I was also teaching myself not to eat the meat options and stuff when I went out. And I was learning what restaurants and places I could go and get healthier options. Because there are healthy options. You can go to restaurants and you can get, there's a certain level of healthy food that you can get from eating out. So I would find places where I enjoyed the food. The food was way better than fast food. I mean, honestly, like fast food is the absolute worst, right? It's just the absolute worst kind of food you could get. You might say, oh, Chris, hamburgers are bad, right? Hamburgers are bad. Okay, cool. I would agree with that. Hamburgers are bad. But a homemade hamburger is much healthier than a hamburger from McDonald's just because it's homemade. Just that simple, because it's homemade. Even if you go to the store and you buy the bun and you get the ground beef from the store, whatever, not really caring about the wellness rating, it's still better just because you make it at home. So that's a simple thing that you all can do to just start the process of eating better, eating healthier. And then you find restaurants and places where you can eat, better foods. And slowly but surely, you're going to eliminate certain things from your dietary strategy and increase in other things. And as you start to learn how to cook differently and, you start having a different experience with food, then you start to enjoy healthy foods because your taste buds alter. And it's just it's an amazing experience, y'all. Like, so Steve made some green beans, some string beans. Green beans, string beans. Are they the same thing? String beans, green beans, right? Last night. And he put them, I guess he baked them because the container that he had them in, it's an oven safe container. I'm pretty sure he baked them. He's been watching Big Bro, you know what I'm saying? Got the little herbs going on. He sprinkled some herbs in there. He baked them. And I'll sneak his food all the time. You know what I mean? I want to see like where you at, how are you improving? Where you at right now? Man, them were some of the best green beans I ever had. They're so good. But the thing is, Steve ain't never made no green beans like that. The reason why those green beans were so good is because he took his focus away from eating meat, dairy products, fast foods, and all of the sad diet stuff. And he focused on making the healthy foods palatable. And not even just palatable, like really enjoyable. Like I would eat a whole pot of those green beans. They were extremely good. And when my mom used to make green beans back in the day, this mom, I know you be watching my lives. This is not a spite. This is not a shot. This is nothing. My mom's green beans were pretty basic. They weren't nasty or bad by any stretch of the imagination, but they didn't taste like that, So I think that if we were to put more emphasis on our fruits, on our vegetables, how we prepare food, and blending spices, if we just put more effort into like learning how to cook and make things taste good, it'd be easy to get away from fast food and McDonald's and different meat products and stuff, dairy products, because ultimately we just want something that tastes good. Like, that's it. That's all that matters to us. And we've been taught, there's a narrative they've taught us that healthy eating doesn't taste good. Healthy eating is boring. It doesn't taste good. It's not fun. It's a lot of work. It's expensive. All of these things are lies. These are all lies. And we just repeat them because we don't know any better. But these are lies that we believe are true. And that if you don't do the research, if you're not in that world, you might be able to see how it's true. You're like, okay, I can see how that's true. But the reality is it's not true. None of it's true. Right? And this is why when we do our events, anytime AHA hosts an event, we always prepare food. We always give you guys an opportunity to enjoy something so you can see, no, eating healthy is tasty. As a matter of fact, it's better than what you've probably been eating. It's probably better. I used to love my mom's meals, man. Shout out to my mom. Thank you for making us home-cooked meals when we were children. It's crazy because my family, my parents got divorced maybe when I was like 8 or whatever. And there was a time when I was away from my mom. I was living with my dad. So it was me, my older brother, and Steve. We were living with my dad. And we were just basically making it happen. You know what I'm saying? Because my dad, he was not a cooker. He didn't cook. My mom cooked. My mom was like a housewife. She didn't work. She tended to the family. She cooked. She cleaned. She did all those things that nowadays people like frown upon, which is, I don't even know why. I love my mom for doing that for us, taking care of us, making sure we were nurtured. It was so important that we had home cooked meals, right? She built a culture in us. So now for me, it's not a hard transition to go back to that because that's what I was raised on. But anyway, that's beyond the point. At some point, I left my dad because my dad got remarried. I left my dad and I went back to live with my mom. And my brothers, Steven and Isaiah, they did not make that move. They stayed with my dad. And my dad's new wife, she would make a lot of like fried chicken. They ate a lot of like hot dogs and things. They basically weren't being cooked for the way my mom would cook, right? And at the time, we were all very slender. We were all really tall. We were all very slender. We were all built like me, the way I'm built now, essentially. And when I went back with my mom, I maintained, and Steven and Isaiah blew up. That was the spark for Steven's enormous growth, like weight. That was the spark. That was the time when it started. Isn't that crazy? He was probably like 8 or 9 years old, right? So I went away and I maintained my size. And then I came to see them maybe a year or whatever. Maybe it was like a year, almost a year and a half later. And they had blown up. Wow. I was like, what happened? They didn't realize it because they were both gaining weight together. So it wasn't like, they're just growing boys. But I was with my mom. My mom was making home cooked meals. And she didn't have a lot of money, so we didn't eat out a lot. They were with my dad. They ate out all the time, and they weren't getting good, healthy meals at home. And you saw, we got the same DNA, same mom, same dad. And you saw that split. And this is why we're able to teach what we teach, because we lived it. Like when I tell people your disease comes from your environmental stressors, how you ate, how your mom ate, you have the same disease as your mom and your dad and your grandparents because you're eating the same things. Like I lived it. My brother got diabetes, or my brothers got diabetes living with my dad. I didn't. I was with my mom. My mom does not have diabetes. My dad does have diabetes. I lived with my mom majority. My brothers and sisters that live with my dad, they did get diabetes. If it's just genetic, I should have got it too. Okay? So I'm so far off topic at this point. I'm so far. Y'all got me all riled up. I done blacked out. I don't even know where we're at anymore. But I need you all to care, right? I need you to pay attention to this stuff. It's important, not just for you. It's also important for your family. I'm not telling you guys you got to change everything overnight. I don't think that's a good idea. As a matter of fact, there's a culture, this 0 to 100 culture that teaches you, hey, you know better. You watch the documentary. You rock with AHA. You've heard the information. You know better. You should not be doing this anymore. You should not be eating XYZ anymore. You know meat's bad. You know dairy's bad. You know alcohol's bad. You should stop doing all of that today. It's not realistic. It's not realistic. I do not teach it. I don't promote it. When I coach people one-on-one, they'll be like, Chris, I'm just so inspired. I just want to be healthy, man. Just give me, back in the day, when I was still figuring out how I wanted to work and interact with people, they would tell me an outcome that they wanted, right? And then I would say, okay, how quickly do you want to reach this outcome? Like, let's create a timeline. How quickly? I said we could do the bunny trail, which will get you to your outcome in a time frame that is fast compared to anything else you could do outside of what we teach or similar to what we teach. All right, so any traditional methods be way faster than that, but it'll be a lot slower than the fastest that you can go. But as you speed your timeline up, as you shorten your timeline, the regimen becomes more intense. So you got the bunny trail, you've got a moderate rate, and then you have the fast rate. Which one do you want to go? And I would give people that option. I said, your level of determination, your level of commitment is really where it's going to make a big difference on, which one you should choose. If you're really locked in, if you're like, I gotta do this today, I'm gonna die, we could do the fast route. And most people would choose the fast route. They really would. A lot of people would choose the fast route and they would not be successful because the fast route's the hardest route. It's healthy if you could do it. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's hard. There's a lot of different components that people don't consider. The stress, the mental strain, dealing with your friends and family and events and things. Like, some people love to travel, and when they travel, they like to eat, and that becomes its own obstacle to overcome. So I like to promote the bunny trail. Just like if you were learning how to ski, they're going to start you on the bunny trail no matter what. You're not an expert. You can't even get on this trail. This isn't even it's not even unlocked to you yet. So now I've learned we got to start on the bunny trail. I want you all to take your time. I want you to take a year transitioning your diet. I want you to. But over that period of time, you need to be intentional about how you go about doing it. You need to learn, educate yourself. Stay locked in with a community that's going to feed you good information, that's going to give you positive reinforcement. This is one of the reasons why we created ahacommunities.com. I'm going to pull this up real quick for y'all. I'm going to pull this up because when we very first developed the Facebook group, my goal was to have a community available for those who are seeking the knowledge that we're teaching, and also for you all to impart your wisdom and your experience so that we can all kind of learn and grow. And it was great. It was great until we got to about 10,000 users. Once we got to 10,000 users, Facebook was like, nah, bruh, you can't be doing this. Whatever you're doing here, you can't do this no more, right? So they took our organic reach, is what it's called, our ability to put a post out and reach the community. They took it away. And then after we got to maybe 20, 25,000 members, they shadow banned us, which meant the only way you could find us is through a link or direct, somebody who you knew. It might have been attached to us, and if you search it, you could find us. But if you were just a random that weren't attached to any AHA members and didn't have a direct link, you couldn't find us. And slowly but surely, they've reduced our reach, and it's gotten worse and worse. And so now I said, you know what? I'm going to invest in a platform where we can house our community, and we can reach you all, and we can interact, and we can give you this information without censorship. And that is ahacommunities.com. ahacommunities.com. The link is in the description of the video. I put it in the chat a couple times. Join us. It's free. I'm footing the bill. Join us for free, okay? And the platform, it acts a lot like Facebook, so it's a cool space. Like, take your time, get in there, move around, play around, add your photo, add a background picture, add an affiliation, add a bio, have fun, interact. It's a great space. We got a lot of energy. We just launched a 21-day challenge, as a lot of you all know. Look, y'all, listen. Every time we do a challenge, inevitably I get a ton of messages, comments. I missed the challenge. Why can't I get in the challenge? Is it over? Da, 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 da. Yes, it's closed. All right. I want it because people was on my old videos. They're like, they're saying that it's open, but I can't sign up. It's closed. So let me just make that clear for those who are watching. The challenge is closed. It's a limited time entry to the challenge. It's not just open all the time. We're going to be looking to open it again in January. Okay. So you guys can look forward to that. However, in the meantime, you guys can join the community and you can get locked in. We have other things available through our AHA Fasting Academy, or actually, you guys can go to ahawellnessacademy.com. Okay, ahawellnessacademy.com. You can check out some of the things we have available. Actually, the store's closed right now. But we're going to open it up very, very shortly. We're just working on some things for you, but we're going to open it up shortly. But we've got some cool programs in there. They're going to be coming shortly. With that being said, we've had some crazy outcomes. We have not even started officially fasting yet. People are already losing 20 pounds. So why are they able to do that? Because we teach a prep, we teach a flush, and then we teach, there's a mental aspect of fasting. There's a way you prepare your mind. And all of these things play into it. So in 2 weeks, people are losing 20 pounds. Why? Because, we know what we're doing. We've been doing this for a long time, right? So hopefully you all join the next challenge in January. We're going to be doing it for all those who are looking to make change at the beginning of the year. We want to capitalize on that energy that everybody has. It's new year, it's a new me, all of that stuff. I'm not the hugest fan of it, but I know that a lot of you all are motivated during that time. And if you lock in with us, with the right motivation and the right tools, you can see outcomes. So hopefully you all take some time to connect with us in these different ways. This is funny. I just saw this comment. Let me see. I'll be vaccinated when the government puts it in beer. Hey, that's truth right there, I guess. I'm going to quickly kind of try and grab any questions. If you guys have some questions you want to throw it in there, I'm going to see if I could grab a couple questions. I know somebody was asking if we still had the water bottles, the gym water bottles available. Technically, we still have the gym water bottles available. You may not be able to order from our website right now because we've been having an internal conflict with orders and the distributor. So what you all can do, because I'm here to help y'all. I don't need to make money off of everything. As a matter of fact, I gave away a lot of stuff. I still give away a lot of stuff for free because I really genuinely love the community and I want to help. So you guys can go directly to their website because it looks like ours is down right now. You just go to VitaJewel. I think it's VitaJewel.us.com or something like that. Or if you just Google search VitaJewel, and it's spelled weird. Jewel is spelled Juwel. So VitaJewel, and you can find them there. But that's the brand that we're affiliated with, and those are the highest quality gym water bottles that I have found. The name of the doctor again, on Instagram, his name is Dr. Kepra. I think, wait, let me see. Yeah. Dr. Kepra. So Dr.Khepra. Dr. Kepra. You guys, I mean, he's in the raw food and everything. He's a good follow. What, a vaccine burger? Yeah, vaccine burger's on the way, y'all. But it's slick the way they doing it. All right, thank you all. I appreciate you. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the interaction. This was fun. Feel free to continue to follow up with us in the comment section of this video, especially if you're watching it after the fact. Yo, join AHA communities. There's literally no reason why you shouldn't. Oh, also, there's an app that goes with it as well. So when you join, you'll get an email. The email is going to tell you how to download the app so you can get locked in. And then you can get notifications just like if you was on Facebook. It's basically the same thing. We go live in there. We're going to be giving away doing some giveaways and things like that. So lock in. There's really no reason not to if you rock with us like that. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend. And as always, the application of knowledge is power. I'll see you guys next time.